Здравствуйте, товарищи. Welcome back after a very brief intermission to our Let's Play Phoenix Wright, ready to start the trial phase, the last phase of the third case. Let's obsessively compulsive check to make sure everything is recording, and everything is recording. See, look, you can see the wavy lines going up and down, representing my voice, in case. Rebel, 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 rebel. The court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement. In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was in fact Studio 2. Today, I will call on the people present in Studio 2, in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear. Very well. Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today. Rebel, 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 rebel. You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls Miss D. Vasquez to the stand. Miss D. Vasquez is a producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Will the witness please state her name and occupation? D. Vasquez, I'm a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were at the trailer in Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes? I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate? Pontificate, I'm pretty sure that's how you say that. It's weird, I've never heard that word before. Sorry. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here. Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder. Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay. Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak. The witness testimony the day of the murder. I entered the trailer, a bit before noon. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4 o'clock. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later, when we all went to Studio 1. That's all. I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you? Obviously, he rode on his back while he crawled on his 4 knees. The van. There's a van at Studio 2. I had him take me in that. I thought it might be risky to walk, with that monkey's head toppling over. Van added to court record. I always wondered if he needs to present the van, like, where does he keep the van? Does he just have, like, a picture of the van or something? Or is just like, quick, let's go outside. Look, the van. That's my evidence. Sorry. Well, Mr. Wright, begin your cross-examination. This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it. Cross-examination the day of the murder. Hold it! By yourself? Yes. And you didn't stop in the employee area? No. Are you always this terse? Yes. Oh dear. Hold it! Oh, sorry. I was delayed. I was too early. Did no one leave during the meeting? No one. Come on, let's talk a little bit more about that. The witness did not come here to engage in idle conversation. Stop interrupting the testimony. The same could be said to you, Mr. Edgeworth. And please stop banging your dumb desk. Or your little desk. It hurts my ears. Ugh. Hold it! And when exactly was that? I've forgotten. Maybe you could try remembering? No. The meeting ended at 4 o'clock, and the rehearsal was scheduled for 5. I think it was between those 2 times. You would think, come on. All you did was state the obvious, Edgeworth. Hold it! Hold on! You said you had Sal take you. What does that mean? It means what I just said. I had Sal take me in the Studio 2 van. Oh, alright. At 2:30. Hold it! And what were you doing that time? During that time, don't hit your desk. It irritates me. Yeah, Mr. Wright! Oops. It was a 15-minute break. Sal and I. Hold it! Do you have someone who can verify this? Sal. No, I mean someone else. One person is enough. If she committed the murder during that break, she wouldn't have had the time to eat this T-bone steak. If I have some evidence that proves she didn't eat the steak. Nick, find anything? Well, I wish she'd said a little bit more. It's hard. I think she's pretty used to being the boss. But I'm sure you'll find some contradiction in what she said somewhere. So, if I am not mistaken, I remember when I first played this part, it took me forever to figure out what it was. But I am fairly certain it's the steak plate. Objection! Yes, I'm right. Ha! As I thought. You claim you ate this T-bone steak. But I say you did not. What's this now, Mr. Wright? Look at this. It's a plate. The plate was on the table in the employee room. You can see a large bone has been left behind. Well, Mr. Wright, need I remind you that it was a T-bone steak? Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manella ate outside on the table outside the trailer. Yet, there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare! Miss Vasquez? Tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. You ate the bone too. You ate the bone too! Nick, are you sure? I mean, I love steak, but I don't eat the bone. Hey, I don't eat it either. Mr. Wright, I too leave the bone. Can I try that again? Sorry, I just had to do that. You didn't eat the steak. You didn't eat the steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere, like the incinerator. I see. Then what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? She was picking on Salmonella. Sorry. She was picking on Mr. Manella. Mr. Wright, sometimes this court finds it hard to tell whether you're joking or being serious. Oh, I would prefer it if you remained serious. Yes, Your Honor. I'll do my best. Okay, serious time from here on out. She was meeting with the Steel Samurai. Order. Are you saying? Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai. And then you did it. You killed him with your own hands. Rebel. Mr. Wright, isn't this a little presumptuous? What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it. Yes. Fascinating. Here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vasquez. Good luck, Nick. Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh yes, the Steel Samurai Spear. Yes? I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use the heavy spear as a weapon? You couldn't, could you? I think you would have had a great deal of difficulty using that as a weapon. Pretty much anyone would. Ha! You see? Yes. However, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning? The steel samurai spear was not the murder weapon. What? What is the meaning of this? The spear was found laying next to the victim's body. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the steel samurai spear was not used as a murder weapon. I believe it's the photo. I could be wrong, though. Oh, well, wrong, Mr. Wright. I haven't even said anything yet. I know you well enough to know when you're going to present the wrong evidence. I can see it too, or sense it too, with my fey blood. Okay, so I picked the wrong evidence. Enough with all the sensing. Right, alright, here's the real evidence, Your Honor. Is it because this is broken? There we go. I present my proof, the so-called murder weapon. But that is the murder weapon. Not so fast. Remember that the spear broke during the morning action scene run-through, but someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now, tell me, how is this possible? For someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this through the chest? Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're... Silence! I'm the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the steel samurai was not the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell what was. How was Hammer killed? Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us the murder weapon used to kill Mr. Hammer? I can tell you. Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was? I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well, let's see the murder weapon then. There, this is where I present the picture. Look at this photo. What is this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Order! If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is this about? This photograph is from 5 years ago. This was an unfortunate accident in Global Studios. This is the photo of the very incident. Not a word of this was leaked to the press outside. It was kept a close secret by the studios. What does it have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it. See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest? What? Are you saying... Yes. What happened 5 years ago has happened again! Rabble. Mr. Wright, continue. It's 2 p.m. on the day of the murder. Miss D. Vasquez meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, died the very same way he caused another man to die. 5 years ago. Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Oh, very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my scriptwriting staff. So you deny what I say is true? Mr. Wright. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that Mr. Hammer had died at the trailer as you say. Then the body was found at Studio 1, was it not? In the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you claiming that I carried the body to Studio 1 and returned to the trailer all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body? The break in the meeting was at least 15 minutes, from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio 1 and placed inside the costume? There wasn't enough time. Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body? I bet she could move it. You'd be surprised. I bet she could do it. When people think their life depends on it, they can do amazing things. Mr. Wright, this is not an episode of That's Incredible. Oops, If you claim she did everything in 15 minutes, let me guess, show me proof. Correct. Show me proof. How am I supposed to do that? Then I won't have you making unsubstantiated claims. Wait a second. How does he know what I'm thinking? Ha! I need only look at the cold sweat running down your face to know what you're thinking. Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to reconsider your claim. Well, Mr. Wright, could she have dealt with the body? She had another way, I think, is it? What if she had another way to carry the body, other than with her own hands? For instance? Actually, for the matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. There was another way for you to carry that body. Interesting. Let's hear it then. Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body. The van! Quick! Let's all go outside! Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio 1, and you used the studio van to do it! Recall your testimony. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there, right? I had Sal drive me. You used the van to carry the body to Studio 1, and then before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume. Hold on, Wright. Don't forget that Sal Manella drove that van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a conspirator? Of course Sal Manella has to have been a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put in the costume. There's no way Miss Vasquez could get that all done. Also, don't forget they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to because it was covered with Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue? No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose. You win. It was fun. I win? So what happens next? Don't question mark me. Don't you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? Huh? I lost? Something like that? I just said that. Wait, so you mean De Vasquez? So it was you? You killed Jack Hammer? Silence. Who can say? Huh? Are you sure that I did it, Mr. Wright? We engaged in a battle of wits, and the result of that battle, you proved the possibility I murdered Hammer. Right. But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. What? What? Rubble. Order. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Of course, it's as the witness says. Certainly, it does seem very likely that she did, but there's no proof. Edgeworth isn't sure. Well, I came here as a witness today. If you've got no more questions, I'll be leaving. What do I do now? Testify again, Vasquez. I'd like you to testify again. Testify again? No one to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? The only thing I can say before, I can only say what I said before. The truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions and get the same answers. A waste of time. Damn! To come so far, only to fail. Rebel. It seems there are no further questions. I would like to end the cross-examination of witness Vasquez. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. I didn't. I see, very well. Your Honor! I request that the witness testify again. You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear your testimony again. Does that make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see what we have anything to gain. I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, I too see very little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly do you want her to testify about? Yes, indeed, verily. I say, ergo. I want to hear about what happened after they found the body. After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter. Nick, why did Edgeworth? Who knows? He probably realized that she did it too. But, wasn't he the one that said he always gets the guilty verdict? After all that? Edgeworth. I was with Sal and Old Bag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police. When Powers showed up, the security lady, Old Bag, quite agitated, pointing at Powers saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home. No issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Okay, Nick, we're close, real close. She may be acting, though. But if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. Right. Cross-examination after finding the body. Hold it! What time was that? We were to meet at 5 for the rehearsal. I'd say it was then. When exactly then you and Mr. Manella arrived at the studio? About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you. Press harder. Where were the other employees when you got to the studio? They weren't there yet. Well, then you could have put Hammer in the costume with Sal Manella's help. Oh, what did I just say? Did I not just say I was not stuffing bodies into any costumes? You should try and listen when people are you should try and listen to what people are saying, boy. Boy? Wait, how old is she? 34. How old is Sal? 32. 18. 7. Old lady. Old security lady. Question mark, question mark. Will Powers. Okay, sorry. I just like knowing how old everybody is for some reason. The witness will continue her testimony. Hold it! Mr. Powers was taking a nap, correct? So he says, did no one go to call him? Remember what? There was a dead body lying in front of us, yet you expect me to be calm? You certainly seemed calm enough when I accused you of murder. Press harder. Wait a second. Wouldn't it be the other way around? The other way around? You discovered a murdered body and one person was missing, right? Wouldn't you normally go looking for that missing person? I have to agree with the defense on this one. Well, Miss Vasquez? Logically speaking, perhaps. But no one was thinking very logically, I assure you. Also, Without his steel samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. We often let him on the bus when shooting at location. No one noticed he was missing. Poor Powers. Well, I suppose that explains that. Very well, Miss Vasquez, you may continue. Hold it! What about everyone else? Oh, sorry, what was everyone else doing at the time? No one said a thing. It was silent, completely silent. So we stood there until Powers finally arrived on the scene. Sorry, I'm late. Then, silence. Dead silence. Silent. Hey, Nick. Why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up. I can't believe they're letting her smoke in the courtroom. Hold it! Old bag. The security lady. What did the security lady think? Why did the security lady think that Mr. Powers had done it? Because she said she saw him going towards the studio. Right. The Steel Samurai. Press harder. The detective arrests Mr. Powers solely based on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seems to also have given the detective that photograph. Of course, I heard all of this after the fact. That photograph, meaning the one taken by the security camera. She's not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to Hammer. I don't think there's anything that I can use. You asked to be left out? Yes. It seems that everyone else was questioned, yet I'm not really fond of that sort of thing. But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand. Since we were in the meeting, there was no way we could have possibly involved, thus covered for us. Covered for you. Or covered it up for you. There must have been a lot riding on it with all those bigwigs at the meeting. I'm sure her professionals helped convince everyone that they didn't require questioning. I went back to the trailer, I got script direction notes. Hold it! Sorry. The script and your direction notes. Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. No, I guess not. Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio One for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? There was a murder after all. Who could think of rehearsing after that? Oh, yeah, I guess. Very well. Miss Vasquez, please continue. Your Honor! I have an objection to the witness's last statement. Huh? Think! Miss Vasquez says she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Do you not see what that means? She would have to know about the murder before going to Studio One. I was thinking that. Thankfully, Edgeworth said what we're all thinking. Order, order! Mr. Edgeworth, what you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Are you thinking of a career change to defense? I appreciate the concern, Your Honor, but I will stand by my statement. However, regardless of how the court may see it. Now, Miss Vasquez, do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. So the prosecution is in cahoots with defense. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal. Very well, the witness will change her testimony to reflect this reason. I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left him behind. Hold it! How do you know about the injury? How do I know? Sal. He told me. Sal, the director. You might find something to peg her on here. Or everything. Okay, hold on. Gotta take a second. Gotta grab a drink of water. collect my thoughts. Or everything we've done until now will be wasted. I believe in you, Nick. Let's go get them. I was with Sal and Oldbeg, the security lady, when we found the body. Okay. There has to be something here. I knew Hammer was injured and couldn't do any actions, so I left him behind. Fuck, what do I do? Can't remember. Sal and Oldbeg when we found the body. The incident was there too, only power happened. I mainly called the police, power showed up. He did it. Okay. Trying to think. There's something more I can drag out. I think it might be this picture, but I am not sure. What else do we have? We have a 5-year-old photo. That's not going to help us. I think it's the picture. Nope, it's not the picture. It's this photo. I'm gonna... What the hell? What the hell? What happened the first time? Okay, that was strange. That was weird. Because I thought for sure it was the photo, and I was right. But when I presented it, I'm gonna have to go back and do some editing and figure out what the hell just happened. In any case, whew, all right, forward. You knew that Hammer was injured. Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Yes, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg in the photo. But that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending? The person who was injured in the run-through that morning, the person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right, he must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manello was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured, and he saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez? You saw Hammer limping. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manello. You saw Hammer limping with your own eyes. Yes, but it wasn't Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg. Oops, I knocked stuff over. Well, I was waving my hands around. Anyway, it was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Aha! And when was he doing this? Well, it would have been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume. He went to Studio 2 where he was murdered. Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in the Steel Samurai suit. That's where you were confused. That's why you thought Mr. Hammer, you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. Order, order. I will have order. Witness, can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Why are the real killers always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing. You would need a motive. Mr. Powers doesn't have a fucking motive, and we sat here for the last 2 days accusing him. Why would she have killed the victim? If there was no reason, then it is unclear to this court. That the defense does the defense have anything to say on this matter? In other words, can you prove that she had a motive? Of course I can prove it. I think. Okay, I have proof, and I will show it to you. I present to the court the evidence that evidence to Miss Vasquez's motive in the murder. It's got to be this. This is my proof. This is the photograph from before. This photograph reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With Miss Vasquez's help, a terrible incident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial began that day, 5 years ago. Ironically enough, it was that accident that precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighed him down, no doubt. However, you, D. Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Bringing us to the present day, Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly, it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star. One moment, Mr. Wright. You're talking about motives here, yet you've only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if Mr. Hammer would have tried to kill Miss Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have? Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have had no real reason to kill Mr. Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. I mean, I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine. Mr. Wright, please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for murder. She has no real motive. She had no motive, Your Honor. What's that now? It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. What's that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez. What? What? Rebel, 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 rebel. Your Honor. Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai's costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. And then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. For what purpose, you ask? To kill D. Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him for all those years. So you did it, didn't you? Yes. I am guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance! There's blood everywhere. We're too late. Oh, Miss Vasquez. What happened here? Manuel fell from the stairs. Manuel! Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. No, how could this? It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... No, Manuel! Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez. No! Please, don't die. Please. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose again. Smash. Bring down the gavel of justice. Mr. Edgeworth, where is D. Vasquez? In the waiting lobby, Your Honor. As calm and collected as ever. I see. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. It appears you have brought yet another miracle. I thank you, Your Honor. I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. and he should be found. That he should be found. So it is only natural, not a miracle. Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Powers, not guilty. Yeah, bring out the confetti. They just have waiting underneath their benches for this very moment. That is all. Court is adjourned. Whew. Man, I was still reeling from that weird mistake that happened a little bit earlier. Had a little bit of difficulty getting back my composure after that. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. I'm just so glad you're okay. Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think he tried to frame me for the murder, it makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright. Huh? Tell me why. Why did Mr. Hammers want to blame me? Show evidence. Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammers want to put the blame on you because, I think it's this. Oh, not Cody's camera. Path to Glory again. It's because you were the Steel Samurai. Because I was the Steel Samurai? Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he's reduced to acting in a kid's show, and the villain to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai, so he hated you. I think I understand. He could have just told me. I would have changed places with him any time. I think you're missing the point. Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over. So am I. So am I. Congratulations, WP! Oh, heh. Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and... Is something wrong? No, of course not. Ah! Nick! Edgeworth! Say something, right? I'm not good at small talk. What? That was too bad, Edgeworth! You don't waste any time gloating, do you? No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in. Pleased to meet you. I'm Powers. Edgeworth. Big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. Liar. Right. I must say I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years. Meet again? However, in retrospect, it would have been better if we had not met. Thanks to you, I'm saddled with unnecessary feelings. Unnecessary feelings? Yes, unease and uncertainty. But aren't those kind of necessary? They only serve to get in my way. Listen to me, Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. Mr. Wright, is that guy your friend? What? Friends? As if. They're rivals. Rivals! Right, Nick? For now we are, I guess. Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick, tell me, what's the deal with you and Edgeworth? So the curtain closes on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kid shows again. Nick! This is it! The new show starts today! You're gonna watch it with me, right? I'll admit, I was kinda surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it. We have to buy the trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody and that assistant. Fine, I'll do it. Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if he'll show his real face this time. I don't know. I don't think the world is ready for the real Will Powers. When he's playing the Pink Princess. The end. Alright, with that, we have brought the successful case to the Turnabout Samurai, and we will begin next time Turnabout Goodbyes, which, if I might say so, is probably, of all the 4 sort of traditional Ace Attorney games, Turnabout Goodbyes is probably in my top 3 all-time favorite cases. I wouldn't say it's number 1, but it's really good. So I hope you will be back for the beginning and eventual conclusion of Turnabout Goodbyes. And with that, so we'll just save, and I think it takes us back to the screen, the title screen. Yes, we get the nice cover art, but we can't really see it because it's meant to be played, top screen, over bottom screen. In any case, that brings us to the end of this Let's Play for now. But before I go, I just remind you guys that you should all be friending me on Facebook and following me on Twitter. The Facebook account is William Spencer Downing, and my Twitter handle is @ComradeJVS. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. And until next time, you guys all take care.